Well, hey, everybody. Good morning. We couldn't do it on Facebook. We just kept getting fading in and out going on. So we're on YouTube. Oh, is this sort of hard to keep up with me and look sort of weird? Yeah. Well, um, it turns out that we're trying to look at each other, but we're only seeing each other through a small hole. And actually, what we think, we're seeing each other like this. But for some people, it might be more like this, and then maybe this. Or for others, it might actually feel more like this. So suddenly, I have to get everything I want you to get to come through here. And I've got to try to see, let's see, how am I going to do this and anything else? Well, can you get anything from this? So I'm wondering, when you see me do this, how many of you think this is going well? How about when I do, does that look any different? Wait a minute, it's hard to manage all this. How about, oh, now, what if I just do that? That's not helpful. Well, it's not helpful for me anyway, because I can't see when I do that. So when we're only really getting information through one or two holes, and those holes are relatively small, it makes it sort of hard to get a lot of information or good information or accurate information, because we might be missing a lot. When we have two holes, but they're very different holes. And, when I'm here, I'm here. And when I'm here, I'm here. And there's, okay, so now let's have it be like this, where what you're paying attention to is my hands. What you can't actually see what I'm up to is oh, wait, you couldn't see my hands? I can see my hands. Oh, but you couldn't? Well, that's odd. Wonder why not? Oh, I'm trying, but it's just hard for me to get you to see my hands because they're doing something I need them to do. And so, well, what does that actually have to do with people living with dementia, and why am I bringing this up? Well, because when people are living with dementia, one of the things that frequently happens is visual data. It's a bit of a challenge. Why is it a bit of a challenge? Because dementia doesn't just impact one area of the brain, it messes with lots of areas of the brain. And one that many, many people don't quite get and understand is, how much visual data can a human being take in at any moment in time? How much can I handle? How much can I process? And there's a huge difference between just noticing, sort of noticing something, and actually being able to see it with accuracy, and then to be able to process what you're seeing. So if I'm just glancing around somewhere, I might notice, wow, that's messy, or, oh, look at that. But then I have to actually home in on or target something to be able to actually see something accurately. And then once I see it, I have to, as we say, discern it or figure it out. I have to look at it at a level where I can go, okay, that's a scarf. And then for most of us, we go, okay, so does that scarf belong where it is? Is that where I should see that scarf? Is that a familiar scarf, an unfamiliar scarf? Is that scarf my scarf? What's it doing here? And then we look at the other things around, and it helps us figure things out. So if we're only showing parts of ourselves, like this part of ourselves, what we're asking a person who's living with dementia to do is giving them just a little bit of visual data when they're used to getting it in context. So they're used to seeing our eyes and our upper face in context with the rest of our face. Now, one of the things that people often do not realize with dementia is when somebody is really focused on your face, that's the target, they can totally miss what your hands are doing. And so you think you're using language to compensate. And people are trying to use language to compensate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to help you unbutton your shirt because you're having trouble with your shirt. I'm just going to help you unbutton it. And our presumption is that, and we're doing this, I'm going to help you unbutton your shirt, okay? And we do that. I mean, it's a very good reason that we do that, is that we're hoping they'll collaborate and cooperate with this idea. And here we're talking about people who seem to be trying to do something, but they're not very successful. And we want to jump in and help. And what we do is we think we're showing them that we want to help. We're nodding our heads. We think we're getting their agreement. We think they're appreciating what we're saying and that I'm going to use my hands to do this. But unfortunately, I haven't really taken it from their point of view and realized if they're really focused up here and trying to process my words and trying to figure out what it is I'm trying to do when they were already busy doing something. So I'm actually interrupting what they're doing. What could happen is they would see it as an intrusion or concerning or confusing, mostly because I didn't do a very good job of introducing things. I didn't make sure they were connecting with me and understood what I was proposing, or even that I noticed what they were doing. I mean, I obviously did with my language, but if we have an issue with both language and how much visual stuff people can take in, then I may be thinking I'm a lot more understandable and clear than I actually am. In other words, I think I have this kind of visual, and really what I have is just that. And so when I'm nodding my head, they may be nodding in response to me or reaction to me, okay, because they think I'm asking something that doesn't really matter. And we think this doesn't happen that often. And what I'd say is, oh, it happens all the time. And it's not just about people living with dementia. All of us have, I would guarantee, have been in some situation where we're sort of going along with what somebody's saying. And it's like, yep. Because we're only, quote unquote, halfway listening. We're not really listening all that carefully because we think they're just telling us stuff that's like, that detail doesn't matter. Our brain has already like sorted through things. It's called the reticular activating system, the part of your brain that tells you pay attention to this, let that go, pay attention to this, let that go. And so we're sort of like, yeah, oh, well, that's interesting. I mean, we are sort of halfway, and we can, if you don't have dementia, it's not that hard to go back and say, what did she just say? And we might be able to pick up the thread because we aren't not listening. We're just not processing what we're listening. So it's sort of like you have the phone on, but you're sort of not really processing everything. And so when somebody asks you then, so what time should I pick you up? That's when your brain goes, huh? What? Oh, so you're going to, and so depending on how skilled you are, you might go, oh, so you're going to pick me up. So, well, let's see, and now we have to go, do I remember what we were talking about? Was I actually paying close enough attention? It's like, tell me again what time you were thinking about. What time are you thinking about? So I turned the tables because it's like, I have no idea really what she's talking about. Or was she talking about going shopping, or was it something else? In other words, my brain is doing some internal work trying to catch up while I'm still trying to hold the outside. Well, what do you think might happen if I don't have the ability to do that? You might hear a, wait, what? Or, I have no idea what you're talking about. What do you mean you're going to pick me up? And then we're like, what have you been doing? I thought you were listening to me. You said you wanted to go. What they did is they nodded their head in response. Now, that's all well and good if we're talking about going shopping. It's a little different when we're talking about unbuttoning a shirt on somebody that might not realize that's what we're about to do. So what we have is this strategy of going, hey, hand near face, look, both of them. And then we go, oh, looking down at ourselves. And then touching ourselves, the clothing we have on, and going, not working, with a full facial expression of, and then hand here up near the buttons, tiny. Yeah. Can I try? It's a question. May I? May I try? Now, when I'm saying, I didn't say, let me help you, I said, may I try? Which is back to one of those positive action starters. We can sometimes do that. So when we're noticing that someone we care about is not doing something the way we would like them to do it, ooh, let me take a step back and give you the broad view. It's not just about face masks or points of view here. It's about when I go, ooh, uh-oh, they seem to be having some trouble with something, whether it's mask wearing, whether it's getting out of a car, whether it's sitting down on a toilet, whether it's figuring out a bill, whether it's wanting to go out and drive when I don't think it's safe. Keeping in mind that if I don't appreciate their point of view first, if I don't try to figure out what's really going on there, if I don't make sure my head, my hand, my intention is in the game, and I'm not interested and willing to explore what's going on before I jump in, I'm much more likely to cause problems than solve them. So, when we find our target, there's a real difference between tossing the cush ball and throwing a rock. And what we want to make sure of is nobody's face is on the other side of the hole with either of them. Nobody likes to have things thrown at them. But maybe if we got side by side and looked at those things, ooh. And then maybe what we could decide to do is let's get rid of the limited vision and let's see if we can't take a step back and say something effective, positive, sort of interesting, or at least make an observation to sort of see if we can't get connected rather than throwing stones. Anyway, doing my best. And I know you are too. Facebook wasn't really excited about us being online this morning, so we did YouTube, but hopefully you guys will check it out. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Corey, for your expertise at the last second. And hope to see you tomorrow back on Facebook. We'll see how it goes. Oh, man, it's getting interesting. Take care.